Hello and welcome to another video, and I am sitting in solitude in my back property. As I left my house, I noticed all the cottonwood fibers getting blown around through the wind, and I thought I'm gonna go sit under the cottonwood tree and hopefully record some of the beautiful movement of the wind and the cottonwood fluff floating around. See if I can go a little bit higher so you can see it. And I disturbed some quail when I came down here. We are in the middle of Northern California summer, which means 90 plus degrees. The hills have all turned golden, and it's just incredible. So something I was thinking about in what is crucial to my routine and my well-being is solitude. And I think it's very important to find time in your day to be alone with your thoughts and to think. And for me, that is best done outside. And just listening to the ambient noises, see what creatures might come around, breathe in the air, watch the flora and fauna that surrounds you. Just trying to find a space that becomes sacred to you, that you can utilize. And I think it's really important, and I think in our society now we fill up every moment with some activity because loneliness and solitude can appear to be a threat. And there's a quote from Andre Gide that says, "Many suffer from the fear of finding oneself alone, and so they don't find themselves at all." And especially in our culture today, we tend to view loneliness or solitude as a negative emotion that should be avoided. And we push through that by compulsive socializing, online presence in social media, occupying ourselves with busy work. And I have to say, I'm as guilty of this as anyone else. I work really hard, fill my days, but the way I recharge is in solitude. And I think for many people who haven't explored that avenue, just being in silence, being alone, and coming to know who we are as individuals is really important. Clark Mustakas described this condition of just filling our time with busyness so we avoid being alone. He says, "It is absolutely necessary to keep busy, active, have a full schedule, be with others, escape into fantasies, dramas, and the lives of others on television or in the movies," and I would add social media. "Everything is geared toward filling and killing time to avoid feeling the emptiness of life." And one way out of this kind of unhealthy response is to begin with an acceptance of loneliness and understanding that our habits and our routines might be being used to cover up that feeling, and understanding that loneliness is part of being human, and solitude and coming to terms with our aloneness in the world can be very positive in renewing your own self-identity and a deeper path to self-discovery. It can lead to deeper perception, greater awareness, and sensitivity, and an insight into one's own identity. So being alone in nature can be really frightening for some people, because that means, some people don't want to be alone with their thoughts. But it is through this self-discovery, kind of soul searching, and loneliness, that we can kind of claim an inner sense of peacefulness that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Many people pay to go on week-long retreats in order to find that sense of peace, inner peace, through solitude. And John Muir said, "Only by going alone in silence can one truly get into the heart of the wilderness." And I think truly get into the heart of ourselves as well. So sitting in stillness and in meditation is really eye-opening, because if you approach it with a curious mind and to see what happens in a state of non-doing, no music, no phone, no one else, be attentive to yourself and your natural surroundings. And as feelings arise, accept it, learn from it. What is the cause of that feeling? And my challenge is to you is to daily find 10 minutes for this exercise. Sometimes you have to go away from your house. I know lots of moms who sit in their car. That would work. But I think sitting outside to watch the sunset usually is my time to sit alone. And when you're attentive to yourself and your natural surroundings, really interesting things can happen. Of course, that can also trigger grief, despair, and joy. Sometimes when we reconnect with ourselves, it might bring up some pain, some unresolved trauma. But recognizing that, being gentle with ourselves, and communing with nature tells me that I'm not alone, that I'm connected to the very foundation of our existence. So let's take a little time to sit in solitude, to breathe deeply, and feel connected. Thank you for sitting with me today. And I hope as you continue to sit in watchful awe of this amazing earth around us, that we can build that connection to help sustain our personal sense of well-being and work to sustain the well-being of those around us. Until next time.